Good morning, and welcome to Power Up 365. How you guys doing this morning? Today I want to speak to you about actually what happened yesterday. And if you guys watched the Power Up session on Monday, where I'm always speaking Monday is the greatest day of the week, I am counting down the weeks in 2020. And in making the recording and sending out the message, I actually got the weeks wrong. Yesterday, this is week 8 of 2020, and I said week 18 of 2020. And there was a moment that I realized it after I sent it out. I can tell you guys I realized it before, but I didn't. And then everyone was contacting me. You made a mistake. It is week 8 and week 18. So one, I was very grateful that people took notice. But it was amazing how many people didn't notice that. Thousands of people, my message goes out to every day, and people didn't notice it. So what's the message today? So when I was growing up, I wasn't the most confident person. And I was also overweight. So and obviously when you're growing up and you're a kid, you're a bit overweight, you get teased, and my confidence wasn't very good until I got to high school and I started playing sport, and I started getting fitter, and I started making first team cricket, first team hockey, and I started loving it. But what happened was there was one person that saw me very down one day and came to me and said, listen, what's wrong? And I said to myself, I really want to play sport. And what happened was this one person trained with me every day. He said, every single day, we are going to run. Every single day, we are going to run. And he was actually very, he didn't take any excuses from me, and he made me run. And I started losing weight, I started getting fitter, and things started happening. You see, and then what really got me my career going and what changed my life is a guy called Tony Robbins. And I remember I was walking through Game, and I saw a bunch of CDs, and I went and got his CDs, and I started studying this guy. I started studying personal development. I started studying it. I remember I was taking the CDs and I was making notes, and I was stopping and pausing and listening. Because he said, anything you want to study, you need to master. And why am I saying this? Is because I started getting more confident in myself. And in my confidence, I also started learning that perfection doesn't exist. Perfection is the highest standard that you can have. We should all push for it. We should all go for it, but we all need to understand that we'll never achieve perfection. Why do people say perfection is the lowest standard someone can have? It is because if you seek out perfection, and you know it's not possible, because we know no one was born with perfect, and you'll never achieve perfection. And that means you will make mistakes on the way, and you need to be comfortable with that mistakes. Okay, so you need to understand that you will make mistakes. Feel comfortable in the sense, you know what, guys, yesterday I made a mistake and I said 18 instead of 8, but it's not the end of the world. It is not the message. Why did I pull back the message? Because I felt the message will still make a difference in someone's life yesterday. It is still a good message, and you know what? I still got a lot of feedback. Great message. Thank you for that, Johnny. I really appreciate it. And some of them didn't even notice the 8th and the 18th. They got the message. So I want to tell you that you got to surround yourself with mentors. You got to surround yourself with coaches. You got to surround yourself with people that are going to push you to be better. I wanted to be better in sport. I wanted to get my health better. I got around someone that wasn't willing to take excuses and pushed me and pushed me, and he changed my whole sporting career. I love sport, and I did very well in sport at school because of this one guy's intervention. My whole confidence changed because I decided one day to get a bunch of CDs and study a guy called Tony Robbins, and he changed my life. I've been to I've done every program. Been to, not to every event, but many events of Tony Robbins. He's 60 years old. It's his birthday this year. He's been my hero for over 20 years. I've mastered him, I've studied him, and from him I got to other coaches. And there's a guy called Blair Singer that taught me how to speak and how to do sales. There's a guy called Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, James Malinchak. There's so many guys. John Maxwell. I mean, he's the master of leadership. He taught me on leadership. So what did I do is, because I took these CDs of one guy called Tony Robbins, and he said, if you want to become good at something, you need to master it. And I started studying it. Until today, I'm studying motivation every single day. And I don't believe motivation alone will change your life. But what I do believe is motivation leads to inspiration. And when you are inspired to do something in your life that has meaning, that has contribution, that changes you by doing it and makes you fulfilled, you are living a fulfilled life. And those are the things that are important to me. That is what I've designed my life about. So the whole thing that I want to talk to you today is understand that you could push for something in life and you could fail. And you could get it wrong. And you need to get up, you need to correct yourself, you need to surround yourself with great people, push you, and change your mindset that there is no perfection. I can seek it out, I can push it, I can push for it. But you need to get up, get going, and push forward. And T. Harv Eker, another mentor coach of mine, he taught us how you do anything is how you do everything. And here comes the challenge or the contradiction. So you can't just accept when you screw up. You can't just accept it as a standard quo. Otherwise, you lower your standards. You are your standards. You are your rituals. That's who you are. So you've got to understand that when you go after something, and you just ignore it, I messed up, and you ignore it, and you don't come back to correct, to do better, to debrief it, that's going to lower your standard. And then failure becomes a real failure because you haven't learned from it. You haven't learned from it. So yesterday I said, hey man, how can I correct this? What did I do wrong? And I went and I realized the calendar that I had done wrong was in April. It wasn't in February. It was on the wrong date. And I got so into the message preparing for the Power Up 365 message on Monday that I slipped up there. So I made sure that, hey man, I need to be careful on when I'm speaking about the weeks, when I'm speaking about the day, because it's not that I just want to get it wrong. I know I did get it wrong, but I want to improve on it. And T. Harv Eker says, how you do anything is how you do everything. And that is character. That is standards of people. So when you can see it when you hire people in your company. You look at their standards. Ability is the third most important thing in a company when you're hiring someone. But standards, going the extra mile, rituals, that's important, because you can teach so much. But if a person has low standards and low rituals, then that's going to be a challenge. So remember, how you do anything is how you do everything in life. And you can test me on that. You can go out there and test me. How you do anything is how you do everything. And remember, perfection is not obtainable, but consistently pushing, and failure will happen. All what you need to do is debrief failure, understand failure, learn from it, and come back stronger. This is Johnny Eliades, your success strategist. Go out there and have a great day. Thank you very much, and I will see you at the top. Cheers, bye.